As health and wellness providers, we know that better patient outcomes require a whole person, multidisciplinary approach that we just can't provide on our own. That's why I've started the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I'll be bringing you interviews with experts, tips, tricks, secrets, resources, systems, and solutions so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And creating your wellness center won't feel like starting over. Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. Today on the show, we have Brittany Ludwig. Brittany is the office manager at Vancouver Wellness Studio at our clinic location. Welcome, Brittany.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
So we're going to have a chat today about office manager positions, admin, front desk positions, and sort of what to look for in the hiring process and what has worked well for us. So Brittany, if we could start just a little bit about your story, kind of your trajectory of your work life and how you found your way to Vancouver Wellness Studio.
Yeah, so basically, I have pretty much done all of the jobs. So I have worked in retail, I've worked in management, I was a preschool teacher for a number of years, I was a personal stylist for a number of years, and gained a lot of insight into different avenues of my personality, let's say, which I think that is crucial in order to kind of finding your path. Along the way, I found things that I liked, which is primarily working with people, and things that I didn't like. And basically, through all of those jobs, it brought me to the conclusion of not only do I want to work with people, I want to help people, and I want to find a way to do that aligns fully with who I am, what my passions are, what my interests are. So along the way, just kind of narrowing in on, what my interests are. And a lot of it is health. A lot of it is psychology, just kind of how people work and how healthcare industry it's an industry. It's just, there's got to be something more. So finding a passion within psychology in particular. I also work in the fitness field. So as a spin instructor, coaching is a passion of mine. So it kind of just all fell into place for me as far as where I wanted to go, looking towards something of what is available that feels like the direction I want to go in, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So coming across Vancouver Wellness Wellness Studio. Thank you.
Studio.
Yeah, thanks. Great.
Where do you work?
Listen. Okay, it's still early.
Happens to the best of us.
Just finding this place, it just immediately clicked. It was just, yes, that's exactly what it is I've been looking for. And so from there, it aligns with kind of my interest of where I want to go. So whether it be with mental health, working with people, health coaching, and just everything combined into one, this collaborative space of there is more and how can we help you?
Yeah. So if we go back to the job posting that you saw, what about that drew you in to the extent that you wanted to apply?
Well, I've heard of this place prior to the job posting. I think that the wording of office manager is crucial rather than front desk receptionist, because I think it encapsulates a lot more of what the job is.
Right.
I think it also shows a sign of respect for that person, that position. I think receptionist, just the verbiage of kind of how we perceive that position, it's like an undervalue in that word. So honestly, one was the wording, office manager, and understanding that it is a crucial piece, and just your whole premise within the posting of kind of what you do and who VWS is. And that's what immediately jumped out to me.
Yeah. And for us, so the key is to be very clear in your job posting about the title that you're choosing carefully, because what is the job that you're actually looking for? And for us, for this position, it is office manager because this person is managing the physical office space and everything having to do with clients coming in and out, right? So it is much more than what we would think of as a receptionist position, which is mostly to do with phones and kind of lighter admin type work, I would say. But I think you're right. Receptionists are often asked to do more than those things that really go outside the title of that position. So let's move on to the interview. I interviewed you for your first interview.
Yep.
And originally you were hired at our spa location. So what do you remember about the interview and what did you like about it? What do you think what kind of kept you excited?
Well, let's go back even a little bit farther. So first I had an interview scheduled and I remember I was so excited. And then I got an email that, I'm so sorry, the position's actually been filled. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm devastated and let me analyze why. I just remember it impacted me more than any other rejection that I'd gotten from a job. And I think which was honestly a blessing because it made me realize how much I really did want to be a part of this place, how much I was committed to the direction that I wanted to go, and that this place would be a beautiful stepping stone for that. So when I got contacted again for an interview, like 2 days later, maybe, it just felt like everything, just the universe just was working for me, which was beautiful. So went to my interview. First of all, your taste is my taste. As soon as I walked in, I was like, well, this is lovely. It felt good when I walked into this space, which immediately is just wonderful. And then you and I have talked about that interview several times, but I think we very clearly initially found out, okay, so we're the same person.
Right.
And also, when do I start?
Yeah.
It was just it was just a conversation rather than it felt more like it felt than an interview, which I think just goes to say of just finding the right people.
Yeah. That are in alignment. And Brittany we do happen to be the same person, but we don't always hire clones of ourselves. But I typically do know within the first 5 minutes of an interview if the person is going to be the fit. And we both knew in that interview 100%. So you started at the spa location. You then moved up to our clinic, which is a kind of an enhanced version, I would say, of that position, a little more layered, and we're dealing with some different services. And how is that transition for you? So if we think about listeners who have multiple locations and they might, have an employee move around or transition into a different role, kind of what was that experience like? Any feedback or advice?
Well, for me, I feel like the transition was a little bit smoother. One, because when I started, that was a goal, was to work at this location. I wanted to be closer to the things that aligned a little bit more with myself. So with it came just an eagerness to learn about this space. Not everybody necessarily works that way. But I would say, it was kind of an odd transition. When I got here, it was kind of an empty space due to just timing. Yeah. But I think it just all comes down to general interest and an eagerness to learn and organization in a big way.
Yes. Lots of moving parts. So in that, how you've worked customer service before. How do you feel like customer service has evolved over time and might be different in the healthcare industry?
Oh boy. Well, customer service, I hate to say, but it ain't what it used to be. Just to put it lightly. It's very transactional. I feel like these days there's a loss of that connection with people. We put a term, customer or client rather than this is a human being that's in front of me and we're going to interact and, circumstances brought our paths together kind of in that aspect. So it's creating this distance, I think, between people, just like a counter, feels miles long these days. And so I think customer service has become a bit colder, that to the point people are, quick and want things done efficiently, but we've lost that connection. And I think in like the healthcare industry, for example, that's when a lot of people need it the most. They're coming in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're coming in, and I mean, you have no idea what they're going through, how long their process has been just to walk into BWS or any healthcare space.
Well, even just this morning, right? I was out in the lobby and client comes in, you greet them, because we do this differently here. We do it the opposite way, right?
Yes.
We treat everyone as a whole person.
Mm-hmm.
So client comes in, you say, how are you doing? And they say, I'm just okay. And that's a typical response.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our patients are honest with us when they come in, because we give them a safer type of space to be honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming in to work on things that they're suffering with. Mm-hmm. So I think we pride ourselves on creating that type of environment.
Oh, absolutely. It's crucial. And just, I mean, me as a person, it's just connecting with people is important.
Mm-hmm.
This is Katie from Jane, your all-in-one practice management software. Thanks for following along with me while I shared all about Jane Payments and the full suite of features we offer to help you save time, money, and a whole lot of admin work. Although the payments landscape can feel a bit tricky, the path to getting started with Jane is a pretty straightforward one. To get from A to B, we recommend booking a one-on-one demo. This is a nice way to see Jane's payment features in action. If you like what you see, you can sign up for a new Jane account. Don't forget to mention the show for a 1-month grace period as you settle in. Last but not least, don't forget to turn on Jane Payments. If you need a hand, you can reach out to our team, or you can learn how over at jane.app/payments.
So if people are looking to hire for this type of position, what type of personality do you think people should look for as they're hiring?
I would say, you want to start with, I guess, what matters to you the most, but I would say the connection portion of what kind of, are they outgoing? Are they friendly? Are they personable? Personable is going to be a huge one. Are they willing to be open? Are they willing to let themselves show rather than coming in and feeling very stuffy? And, they're obviously people are nervous coming into interviews, but how do they interact with a new person in front of them? That's a huge sign of how they're going to interact with somebody that walks into your space. How do they make you feel as the interviewer, I think is crucial. Do you feel comfortable and happy and, safe around them? That's huge. And then from there, really digging into recognizing like what kind of work ethic do they have? What kind of roles have they worked before? And not writing somebody off simply because maybe they haven't done that exact job, but maybe they've done a job where they've gained skills that would be valuable towards whatever the position is. Every job can teach us things. If say there was an example that I had heard of, working at Taco Bell, for example, on the food assembly line, you're working on routine, you're working on efficiency and over and over and over again. And so it's all of these skills that you can pick up from even the most mundane jobs. And it's just, I think, reading more into that rather than just what the black and white says on their resume as well.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Let's talk about work ethic a little bit more, because we've had people with all types of personalities in this position over the years, but the work ethic piece is extremely important and there's a thread. So what do you see as like what that thread is? What type of work ethic is needed to be successful in this type of position?
It's all encapsulating, but organization has to be the top priority. You have to be able to sort through all the chaos of the day. There's so many working parts. There's so many different things happening all day, and being able to organize and prioritize is going to be kind of the top of that. And then from there, it's a personal accountability of I have downtime or there is a moment in my day and how can I best utilize that? What's on my to-do list, and how can I knock those out? What is the top priority of the day? It really comes down also, I think, to the core of a passion for your work. Your work ethic is not going to be top if you're doing something that you don't necessarily enjoy or align with, right? Mm-hmm. So, there's just a lot to that.
Yeah, I agree. And it's why we often have people in this position who want to do further education in the field of alternative healthcare, because it's the passion piece is very important. The desire to learn about all of the different services. When you have a multidisciplinary clinic, there's a lot, and Brittany can attest to this, there's a lot of nuances for each type of service and each provider. So there has to be a level of passion there. Let's talk about why your receptionist, admin assistant, office manager is one of the most important positions in your company. I have lots of thoughts about that because I wholeheartedly believe this. But how do you view that?
Whatever that position is called, however you want to name it, that person is essentially... that person is your company. They are the face, they are the personality, they are the feeling of your company. Granted, the providers are obviously crucial to that as well, but they are the first person. They're the first voice. They're the first feeling that a person has, that they encounter in your space, whether it be on the phone or whether it be them walking in the door. They are the mascot of your company. Mm-hmm. I mean, no, but really, listen, but no, truly, it's just, when you think of a business, you think of like, if there's,
I'm going to get you a uniform costume.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Hummingbird.
Right. I'll never say anything again. But really they are. When you think of like, you know what, never mind.
I get
I'm not down this road.
No, please.
Okay. But really, it's crucial. So the moment somebody calls, you don't know what they've been through to just get to that point of making that call. So if somebody answers the phone and it's cold, but they are doing the things they're supposed to be doing, saying the things they're supposed to be saying, let's get to the point. Gotcha. Whatever it is. Fine. Yes, you've done the job. Yes. However, does that person necessarily feel taken care of? Mm-hmm. Do they feel heard? Maybe they have extreme anxiety just getting on the phone, mm-hmm. and they get off the phone and they don't necessarily feel good after.
Yeah.
It's recognizing this is an opportunity to connect. I think, really do appreciate and I'm grateful that you called us, mm-hmm. whatever it is that got you to this point. And then the same if somebody walked in the door of how do you want your client, your patient, whoever it is walking through your door, how do you want them to feel when they come to your space? And that is taken care of by that person at that front desk, whether it's, a smile, a hello, a conversation, a joke, whatever it is. Just understanding that person is really going to set the tone for your entire business.
Mm-hmm. And that's really the question to ask yourself when you're interviewing mm-hmm. someone is, how do you want clients, patients to feel when they come into your business? And does this person sitting across from you make you feel that way? It's the most important part of the interview. I think it's important for business owners in healthcare to kind of switch the mindset around this position and start thinking of it truly as one of the most crucial positions and people on your team. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen a website of a healthcare business and clinic, and they do not put the pictures and bios of the front desk staff member or any support staff members on their website. That is appalling to me. It's appalling.
Truly.
So we've always made a point to put every single person on our team mm-hmm. on the website. It's like, it doesn't make any sense to me why you wouldn't do that.
Well, I truly. And also, and that goes to say too, people read them. Like people are interested. I have people who come in and ask me questions.
Yeah, about what's
things
in your
that
bio.
In my bio. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm a celebrity. First of all, thank you for asking. And then second, it's just another chance to connect and feeling valued within the business.
Yeah. Well, and when we think about being trauma informed as a business, a lot of that is about making sure people know what to expect when they come to your company, to your place of business. And so it's really helpful for them to understand who are they going to expect to see first when they walk in. So it's a very important job. And I would say, of any position on your team, when you're creating the job posting and building out the job description and really curating this position, to spend a lot of time and intention doing so. Because this position also, if we think about just numbers financially, right? We're all a business. This position is revenue producing. It's often thought of as not a revenue producing position. But that employee can enhance your revenue or hinder your revenue by how they present to clients. So we could go on.
Yes.
Brittany, what is next for you? I know what's next for you, but tell the listeners, what are we working on together? And what are you working towards in the trajectory of your career?
So I am heading towards holistic health coaching, which I'm very excited about. So it encapsulates, really everything about this space and everything I love. And, I told you I came from a background of, always working with people, working one-on-one with people, fitness coaching. And I just want to take this space and be able to help people navigate their lives, and also use that as an opportunity for referral within our business. And I say our because it's, again, fully invested in this space, which is crucial.
Yeah.
So, really, just helping this place and myself grow and helping people along the way.
Well, we are so excited for you to go on that journey. And maybe we'll have you pop back on the podcast when you're done with your health coaching program and give the listeners an update
love that.
On where you're at. Brittany, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much for listening to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please visit our website at wellnesscentercreators.com for more show notes and additional episodes. By the way, I love hearing from listeners. Please send me an email at Kendall, Kendall, at wellnesscentercreators.com with your feedback. And if you send me a question, maybe I'll read it on the show, anonymously, of course. Thanks so much again for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the Wellness Center Creators Podcast.